everybody, what is up? And welcome back to the hashtag Lockboss Show and Giveaway. Thanks for tuning in. I tell you what, I was just kind of looking in the comments here. Everybody, how are you doing? Man, I tell you what, I just what's the name of it? The first time I've had this little cookie treat thing was on a airplane, and they give you two, and they're kind of cinnamony a little bit, and I don't know, whatever it is. I actually just had a few minutes ago, and they're absolutely amazing. I tell you what, but man, I'm just happy I get to come on live right now because I'd probably want to eat about 20 more of them minimum, actually. Very, very, yeah. Anyways, everybody, how are we doing? I tell you what, I'm going to be drinking, of course, a Topo Chico with a little bit of pina colada zip fizz in it. So cheers to all you out there as well, drinking one. Let's see. I know, hey, Jimmy J, what is up? Carl Lewis, G Keyman 565. PJ, he says, what do we got? He says, PJ, quit playing with your red wigglers and start. You know, hey, G Keyman, you know, I'm glad you bring that up because we got a video coming out in a few weeks that you're going to like. You are going to like, I tell you what. PG, you're not going to tell us what. Oh, NY Locksmith. I know. You know, I want to say it is like Biscoff or something like that. The package is downstairs, or I would tell you, but they're absolutely amazing. But cheers to all you out there. Oh, good stuff. All right. What's up, everybody? We're going to have a little bit of fun today. Of course, we have a special guest who I'm going to be bringing on here in just a moment. And then is what we'll do is we'll have Wes on from LockCaddy. And then we'll go ahead and we'll transition after chatting with him for a little bit just to our normal show where we will be going over the post of the week, the comment of the week, and, of course, 5 lucky Lockboss winners. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you all for tuning in. Let's see here. Yeah, oh my gosh, you guys' comments today are funny and distracting. Okay, so I'm not going to look at them here for a few minutes because, well, I'm not going to be able to keep my train of thought. So, all right, here we go. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring Wes in. Wes, how are you doing? Oops, Wes, I am unable to hear you. I'll go ahead, Wes. I'll take you off screen for a minute or two, and is what you'll do is just give me a thumbs up when you're ready, and I'll bring you back on there. So, okay, so I guess in the meantime, let's go ahead and hop in here into the comments. From Iceman003, how are you doing? It says, hey, PJ, the Lock Wife wants to know about those who drink Coke. I do not know what you're talking about. I wish I did, though. Am I missing something here in the chat? Up, hold on here. I think Wes is ready here. Let's go ahead. All right, Wes. Hey there. So I can see on my end that right now you have the mic muted. I can see a little icon. Oh, there we go.
Hear me?
I can hear you. How are you doing, Wes?
Just fantastic. We have our town full of the Democrats at the convention here in Chicago. So
oh, yeah. Yeah. You're based in there, Chicago, yeah. So it's a busy city right now, I imagine.
Yeah, the whole city's screwed up. You can't get around downtown at all.
No? How often do you go downtown Chicago? Very often?
No. I mean, it's, I don't know if you want to say it was COVID or whatever, but the downtown area has kind of, I don't know, not the same as it was before, just with a whole lot of people. And I don't know if they're above 50% as far as using office space again or whatever. But, you know, Chicago is still a great town. You know, it's, you know, we're a sports town. Everybody knows, you know, Bears, Bulls, Cubs, Sox, or whatever. So it's right now we're hoping that the Bears are, you know, going to go a long way with the new quarterback. But, you know, it's a good town.
Awesome. Well, I tell you what, you know, I've been to Chicago twice in recent years. As soon as I was actually in there October 23 last year. And I had my wife with me. It was really cool. And I tell you what, that industry of science and space museum there is so cool. I tell you what, we got to go through the tour of a U-boat that was in there. That was really, really cool to see.
Yeah, I mean, I apologize. I'm a storyteller, but you know, if you watch a program called American Pickers, two guys that kind of go around the United States looking for stuff to buy and, you know, barn finds and all those kinds of things. It is very, very common that if these guys see machinery that was in an old factory, 9 out of 10 times it was made in Chicago. It's, you know, it was just, you know, really unbelievable as far as being a manufacturer location for a very long time.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool, Wes. Well, hey, you know, so thanks for joining. I asked you to come on. You know, I wanted to talk a little bit about LockCaddy and the new products that you've come out with over the past months. And so I wanted to kind of start from the beginning for a minute. And if you could, you know, kind of tell us a kind of a quick summary of how you've been a locksmith for a long time, but you then started making these LockCaddy tools. And so if you could kind of rewind a little bit for those who may not know and kind of tell us a little bit about why you started making the LockCaddy products.
Sure. Well, again, I will apologize to your viewers or whatever, but I started as a locksmith in 1976, worked a great deal of that time as a retail locksmith dealer, working for other people, driving around in a truck and making keys for cars and all that kind of stuff. And for a while, I worked for a medical lock company as far as promoting key systems and helping lock guys out if they ordered it incorrectly or whatever, distributor ordered it wrong or whatever. I'd go out there and help them put it, you know, right or whatever. So I was doing a lot of key systems, and our original LockCaddies that, you know, I'm sure some of you folks are aware of, I was making those out of wood in my brother-in-law's garage. And to make a long story short, I hooked up with some people that are 3D printers and product development people. And with 3D software, you could make these things so that I could put locations and all the different slots for tools. And because I was, you know, doing key systems for locksmiths and distributors, you know, it just seems, you know, in Chicago market, you know, there's a lot of best small format types of key systems. So I came out with what was more popular, the small format. And then I got a little greedy and I said, well, can we make something for conventional cylinders? Sure, why not? And then it came out to be large format cylinders. And we got pretty good response. And probably, PJ, as you know, probably even up till today, my most popular tool is what we call the go, no-go tool, where it's a set of pins in a holder, and you put it over the top of a small format core, and it will tell you which chamber is now pinned to 23. So if we all know that if you pin any small format cores, it's going to happen. You're going to, you're going to put more than 2 number tops in or something or whatever. And instead of, capping it and trying your keys to say, oh man, the control key doesn't work, this tool will tell you automatically what it does. So, it's just a real popular tool for us. So as I've gone down the road with LockCaddy tools, dealing with a whole lot of locksmiths, I kind of just listen. So, the original LockCaddy was too long. They wanted a shorter one, so we came out with the mini version. And then about 6 months ago, we came out with the Cradle, which was a single station LockCaddy. And then at a couple of different shows, locksmiths will come and say to me, well, I work on cam locks, and I can see that. Compex, which is again, 800-pound gorilla in the room. They pretty much own the entire market as far as pin tumbler, wafer tumbler, and if you need to swap out wafers, again, I've been a locksmith for a long time. You typically put it in a vise and you take a tool and you whack away as far as the wafers are concerned, and they fall on the ground and the string goes down there. And so I said, okay, we need to make a caddy for cam locks. So I can't believe the reception and the popularity of this tool for guys that, I can just say to you that we've all been through where if you bought 5 wafer tumbler cam locks at your local distributor, you go to the job or the customer comes in and says, geez, I need 6. So I need to change some or whatever. So there's always a need to work on cam locks and do it in a way that you're not going to round it out or break it or, do whatever. And again, if there's one similar idea through all my tools, is that I'm going to keep you at the bench working away with a certain tool, and not have to walk away, or if you have to walk away, everything's still here and you're not going to be losing anything. So it's the next popular thing. And I said, well, what the heck, I started working with my tool guys, and we came up with what we call a Bowman tool, and it's a significant tool. I believe that on one end you can work on American master padlocks, and on the other end you can work on pin tumbler complex locks. So it's a multifunction type of a tool, and frankly, I couldn't make a tool that didn't have rings. So, the tool holds itself inside of the housing, whether it's a complex pin tumbler housing or a master padlock housing, so that it doesn't fall down on your desk and all the springs and top pins come out. So it just kind of self-generated itself as far as our tool line is concerned. So
sure. So I guess back it up for a quick second, and I really want to hop into these new tools here in a minute, but I'm curious, what is your favorite LockCaddy tool? Now, mine is the go, no go, right? Yeah. I mean, that's what really, if you remember years back at one of the shows, you demoed that go, no go for me, and I got instantly excited. Do you remember that?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And PJ, believe me, if some point in time I find my original model tool of the go, no go, you get it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm giving it to you. Okay. It's just
cool.
That it's probably, I use a lot of boxes to hold parts and whatever. The day I find a box that has that original one in there, it's yours.
Sweet. Well, thanks. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So what is?
I agree with you. I think that as simple and easy and as well made as the go no go tool is, that's my favorite, without a doubt.
Yeah, okay, I agree. And as a matter of fact, Kylie, who is moderating today, Kylie, how's it going? I've been so busy in meetings, I haven't really got a chance to talk to anybody on the sales team today. So hey there. But hey, if we can, I think it just dawned on me, and so I'm not gonna. We'll just do this live. But I think Kylie, if you could, we need to add the go no go into the SFIC starter kits that we have, because it would. Especially when you're starting out and getting all the tools, being able to figure that out is very important. But anyways, Wes, I don't want to distract here. So if we fast forward to, I have your flyer sitting right here in front of me with the Cam Caddy.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think a lot of times is what we found with your tools, right? It's like once someone gets a LockCaddy and they start playing around with it a little bit and they're seeing how helpful it is, they start wanting other little parts and pieces to it, and kind of getting the whole thing going on, which makes a lot of sense, especially if you like things organized.
Right.
The LockCaddy products are good. But moving into the Cam Caddy, right? I'm sitting here. We have the Cam Caddy CPX. We have the Cam Caddy Medico, which I touch on briefly in the video and put a link to it. But I really want to dive in a little bit to the Bowman. I guess I'm looking at it. You can't see it, but the Bowman tool.
Sure.
As you know, the video just came out this past Sunday for it, and it was something that I've seen some of your other followers before. I haven't spent a ton of time playing with them, but with that tool in particular is what I've personally found. And of course, you've been locksmithing you've locksmithed way more than I have, but when I find myself working with a core that I don't work with a lot, like a American padlock, I always get a little more nervous. I'm always a little more careful because they're easier to spill, they're easier to cause problems, and so seeing those O-rings on there was interesting. It really piqued my curiosity, where I immediately start grabbing cylinders, kind of playing with it and having fun. And I'm like, shoot, I better turn on the video camera here while I do this. But I'm curious, like, what's the thought? You've told me something and I can't quite remember it, but talk to me about, you have some, like, you love O-rings, or like, how did the O-ring thing get involved with followers? Like, is there a story behind that I'm thinking there is?
Well, yeah. The idea is I have a set of following tools I call the Gator tools, that I've kind of expanded it to cover, Corbin mastering cylinders and Schlage OEM cylinders. So there's like 5 in a pack that when I was dealing with, and my manufacturing team said, what's the biggest problem with everybody else's tools? And I said, okay, the problem that I see with most following tools is that they're too long, that your hands are pretty far from each other. And if you have to use shim stock to, bridge something or whatever, you're kind of fumbling and holding the housing because your hands are too far apart. So I said, okay, we need to make a follower shorter. So if typically in the everyday routine process, and again, in general, 1.25 inch mortise cylinder is typically the longest cylinder most people see. Okay.
Sure.
So I said, let's make, these following tools to fit 1.25 inch mortise cylinder and a skosh longer. Okay. And then everybody asks, okay, then what's the problem with that tool, that you want to, fix? And I said, well, the problem is that when you put that cylinder down on a table or whatever, you always take the chance of the following tool just sliding out of the housing, and you lose the top pins and springs. And I said, oh, Okay, so maybe we can put a rubber ring around that. So each one of my gator tools has a rubber ring on it to hold it into the housing. So you can, if you see our videos, you can drop it on a table or whatever, and the gator tool. And then I color code the ring. So, red is Schlage and blue is Corbin because that's a different diameter, and green is Sargent, because it's a much smaller diameter. So they're color coded so that, no matter what you have on your desk, you know which one to do. And I always put a holding area on all my LockCaddies to put my following tools in there. And even when I think we shipped a large conventional version, I put a set of following tools in each one. So, I'm pretty generous with tools. I haven't really raised the price in 4 years, even though everybody knows how people have gone crazy raising prices just because, supply issues and those kinds of things. But, everything that I make is made here in Chicago. So, if I try to estimate, people's orders and keep an inventory around, I've never raised the price at all. And if you look at my prices to compare to others, people tools, it's like night and day. They're just really, really cost effective,
Sure.
So,
Now, or was it?
Go ahead.
And thanks for that explanation. But maybe was it not O-rings? Was it rubber bands? You said you like. I was it.
Yeah,
Was it
it's again, it's a rubber band. It's a Buma, B-U-N-A band that is a little stronger rubber and will take graphite, or will take WD-40, or will take dry lubricants or whatever, and it will just last a lot longer.
God. Okay. Yep. That's what it is. So, and as far as like the wear, so a few different comments from the video that came out on Sunday is one, they were talking about like how long do you expect the O-rings on there to last?
I would say years. Okay. Now, if it doesn't last you a year or two, just through PJ or whatever, just let me know, and I'll just send you a couple. I'll send you like a dozen replacements. In the 4 or 5 years I've been selling tools with these rings, we've never had anybody complain about the ring breaking. And it's pretty difficult that if you look at the diameter of a master padlock plug, okay, and the American plug and Compex plug, those diameters are not all exactly the same. So we had to kind of take a commonality diameter tool and then make up the difference with an O-ring. You can kind of compress the O-ring to be held in, it might be a little more snugger in the Compex housing as opposed to the master or American housing type thing. So it kind of balances out, the different diameter plugs.
Okay, so it's kind of like the like a standard like quick set plug, right? It's going to be a 0.500, but almost all followers are like a 0.495. So and so you kind of did the same thing, but in a way you're kind of using the O-rings as the what's the word I'm looking for? The buffer, kind of the buffer.
Good word.
Okay.
I mean, it takes up space and it helps hold the tool within the housing of master or American or Compex, and really when it comes down to it, I'll use the word, this will work any, pin tumbler version of, I'm trying to think of the word, of a knockoff pin tumbler, cam lock. But, again, with a wafer lock, you don't need a following tool or whatever. But, it's it's again, it's made out of metal, and it's made to last. It's very easy that if you look at my tools, for example, to fit on the Complex version, those little bitty ears
Yep.
are made to fit right on the backside of the C8100 series pin tumbler cam locks. So you don't need shim stock. You don't have to worry about it. You're going to put them and they're going to come out together, that type of a thing. So again, there's a lot to these tools that, again, 40 some years of playing with, goofy locks or whatever, I say, well, can we do this? And luckily my team of people that are product development guys who say, oh, sure, no problem, we can do that. And I kind of roll my eyes back saying, okay, let's make it or whatever. So
sure. And so the last question I want to ask you, and thanks for being on here with me, is so on the back, on the bottom of American padlock and master lock, there's holes where you can rekey it. And one of the people, one of the comments, I should say, was talking about, why would you ever want to take the cylinder or the plug out when you can just flip it upside down and pin it? And so I was just hoping, with you having the whole cam caddy and all of that kind of put together. Now, I did answer the question for them, but from your perspective, I'm curious, what does that walk us through why someone would want to take it apart?
Well, that would be, okay, so there are two different barrel housings, one for master and one for American. Okay, now the American version is held on with a C-clip on the back. Okay, now that's fairly simple to take that C-clip off, insert the key, and use a following tool. Okay, now again, you're talking about, let me get this over here so we can see what we're saying here. Okay, all right, so that's the cylinder holes that you're talking about. So if you were just keying alike or keying different, yeah, you can do that. You can pull the key out, put the different key in, and then drop in the pins, and then turn it back, and you could do it that way. Okay, but if you end up master keying the padlock, it's a whole different story. Okay, because once you start inserting different keys above the shear line or whatever, the master wafers are going to pop out above this and will cause you a problem. So again, you can't create a tool that is for everything, but as far as I'm concerned, if you just took off the C-clip on the back of this, turn it, and use the Bowman tool, you can easily look at the barrel and drop the pins in and make sure that everything's working properly. Okay, so that would be for American. Now for master padlock, there is, I don't know, I guess a little trick to this, but here is the master padlock version that has like a little dimple on the backside of it that holds the plug inside of the shell instead of having like a C-clip. Okay, and the trick to get this barrel out, again using the Bowman tool, if you turn the plug so the bottom of the keyway is right where that little dimple is, what happens is, let me get by the camera or whatever, it comes right out. Okay, so it's instead of having a C-clip what Master Lock does is they put that little dimple on the back side of this and allows you that if you turn the keyway to the flat portion of that, now the barrel will just come out. Boom. Okay. So you use the Bowman tool on this. And again, it would be for the same idea that if you were master keying it or something, you would want to take it apart and make sure that, you know, what your numbers or your pin kit or whatever, so that you don't put it back together and nothing works.
Yeah.
You want to put it together with it, you know, working.
I've locked up more cylinders, padlock cylinders, from trying to rekey them from the bottom that then I really want to admit. I'm really hoping someone in the comments can say they've locked one up too, because they're a pain to mess with after that. But yeah, I probably should get over my fear of pinning it up from the bottom, but I don't know what it is. But I feel like when I put the pins in, how the key sits when it's upside down is a little funky.
Sure.
And I'll put a too small a pin in, and then I lock that sucker up. But
Right.
And the one other reason that you didn't bring up that I'd like to, because this just happened to me a few days ago, is this cylinder right here. Okay, I think it's American padlock cylinder.
Okay.
And this, as you can see right here, maybe a bunch of little pins. I had a friend of mine in the studio here, and he ended up just taking this and just pulling it out. It was on this. It was on the side, and yeah. So I'm gonna have to take this apart and put it back together proper, right? So I'm gonna put that right back there. It's a little fun side project in a few minutes. And LockDoc says, let's see here. LockDoc, how we doing? It says, I always take mine out to pin just to have it. Yeah, I'm the same way. I've tried in a hurry to pin it through the bottom, but like I said, it doesn't work out well to me. And I'm happy to know someone else does here. Okay, another one. George Blair, what's up? Yeah, great comment. Says, can't get the master pins through the bottom hole. That's a absolutely great point. Wes, we got a comment here. Jimmy J says, did the Bowman get its name from anyone or anything specifically?
Yes. There's a friend of mine who has helped me through some of thinking the process through, whose last name is Bowman. I won't mention the company that he works for or whatever, but yeah, okay. I named it after him. So.
Oh, okay.
He's very helpful in helping me on a whole cam lock issue. So, you know, but I mean,
very cool.
If you look at, and do we have a second to look at the cam caddy right now, PJ?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, let me pull up this comment here. There, we can do the Kim Caddy says Iceman 003 says PJ also tiny holes get dirty. That's another great point. Yeah, let's go talk about the Cam Caddy for a few minutes here, Wes, and yeah, I'll let you after that enjoy your evening in Chicago.
Great. Okay, so if you look at this, there is a lot of cavities here. That, you know, patent people talk about stations, different locations for different types of things. So I'm going to go through very quickly so you get to see this. Now, you know, the first thing, if you want to see this, here is a male side, here is a female side. So all of these things interlock. So if you have more than one, you can put it on your table and you can move them back and forth. And also, if you notice, I give you screw holes in case you actually want to, you know, make a secured station or whatever at your shop to work on cam locks or whatever. Okay. So the very first location that I'll just talk about, and I'm going to do this briefly or whatever, would be on complex pin tumbler locks. And here is the shell where I remove the pin cover to drop in new pins and new springs. And again, if you were trying to do this in your shop, you'd be doing that at a vise. And if you crush this thing on a vise or whatever, or drop it, you're, complaining about this. So I have here a location for getting at that pin cover and taking it off in a way that you can still reuse the pin cover if you wanted to reinstall it. Okay, so I always have on any of my LockCaddy stuff a location. If there's a pin cover involved, and if you need to get to it, I give you a location to do that. Okay, the next most important station is that on this side of the cam caddy, and I promise I excuse myself if I'm making somebody seasick here because I'm moving this thing around with this camera thing, but over here is a location for the Bowman tool. Okay, hold on, we'll get it in here in a second. Okay, so here is a location for you to put the Bowman tool and the housing together. So it would be holding it so you could drop the pins, springs, and whatever, and try keys. Okay, and I made it long enough so that the Bowman tool, I got to get used to this. The Bowman tool comes out the back, and it's an oval, so you can actually pick it up and get it out of the way, kind of a thing. So I've kind of, thought that through. Now, again, both of these locations would have primary places for pin tumbler. So if you want to talk about wafer tumbler, what we can do is there's locations here for there's a location here for wafer tumbler. Okay, and if I get my finger out of the way, you can see that there's space here. Oops. Hold on. There's space for wafers to be knocked down where here and here and here, oops, and here are locations that when you knock the wafers out, they fall into that housing with the springs. So if you just need to turn it or change wafers or something, so you don't have to change pin kits or something or whatever, you can do that. Or if you want to save the springs because you don't have a complete set of springs, you can then do that with that. So that would be like for all, this goes up to 1 1/8" cam lock, 7/8 probably being, a very popular length, and that fits 7/8. There is a location that I made for a very longer cam lock that would go up to like 1.5" cam lock in case you had, something longer to do that. Okay. Again, whether it be Compex, wafer cam locks, Timberline cam locks, even I've made a location here for on Chicago. If you know this little double-sided wafer pack that has to be knocked out. So there is right here a wafer pack that you need to knock down, there is a location for that wafer pack right here to be caught. So even for Chicago double-sided, we've taken care of that. Okay. So even we've kind of thought of, if you do any, let's see what we have here. Hold on. If you do any tubular fort complex, there's a location that will hold that, and I've got that little screw attached. That's how you have to pull that retainer screw out, and it will hold that, so you can get that out without, again, going to a vise and screwing around with it. Okay. I have a location for your Bowman tool to be held. There are locations here for cut keys. There's locations for cams, for the whole, pretty much the whole process, as far as holding parts and pieces. There's other locations there for springs and retainer screws or whatever. So, if there's a cam lock out there, virtually, this will work on it. And again, if you look at these little triangle spots, these are places where that if you're knocking out wafers or springs, they'll be caught down at the bottom, and you can reuse the springs. Or if you're just swapping and reversing wafers, you can do that to get that out of the way. The last thing, which it kind of hit me in the middle of the night, as far as a feature, everything that I'm making, anytime I can give you a location for tweezers, I give you a location for tweezers. So I have a set of tweezers I probably had for 20 years, and God forbid somebody goes in and starts using my tweezers, because I've just had tweezers or whatever. So that would be a location for tweezers. So there would be, again, here an interlock plus screws, and that kind of sees if you have again, all these cavities or locations you can work on. Again, all of these locations you can put master or American pin tumbler housings with, also very much so here with the Bowman tool. If you do a lot of padlock rekeying, that you can use that location with the Bowman tool and holding the housing. So
perfect.
I've tried to keep everybody organized, try to keep everybody working in the same location without dropping stuff on the shop floor and looking for those little bitty springs or whatever. And if the phone rings and you need to go do something else or whatever, you can load this up, take it to the job site with you, and rekey stuff there, and it will just do this very efficiently. So
very good.
Yeah, a lot of thought went into this, and again, it's all American made. Everything here, Chicago, Illinois. One of we pride ourselves. I get probably 5 or 6 emails a day from people wanting to do this stuff offshore, and I just don't. I just really prefer to stay, on the American made side. So the Bowman tool, great tool. If you work on padlocks, if you work on pin tumbler locks, the Bowman tool will just take all that away. If you look at how these marry, you can see that they're just so spot right on, as far as there's no need for shim stock or playing games as far as keeping it tight together. But as far as we've got a couple of other tools coming out before the end of the year, I will probably have you guys take a look at it before I release it. Maybe we can do a video or a Zoom thing with PJ or whatever. But right now, this, and actually we also have one for Medico cam locks. If anybody does higher end cam locks, the thing that really works for that particular Cam Caddy MD, they have a 65 series switch lock that if you take it apart to rekey it, there are two little half moons on the at 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock that have to come out before you can pull the plug out. Okay. Pretty much you can do that with on a vise or something, but once you have to reset those two half moon retainers, it's impossible to do it correctly in a vise. You're gonna put them in too hard, and what it is, those little half moon retainers sit in a little ridge in the backside of the plug, and it holds it in there. And if you put them in too tight, that key doesn't turn at all. And if especially momentary with the spring, you override the spring and it's not going to spring back. So again, Cam Caddy MD, if you do Medico stuff, the perfect tool. Again, for guys that, I mean, who doesn't in everyday applications have to work on cam locks? Everybody does. It keeps the lights on. It's just something that it helps you stay organized and it helps you do it the right way and do it the first time and not oval it out so the key won't turn or whatever. Sure.
Well, perfect, Wes. Well, hey, thank you for coming on and talking all things LockCaddy. I hope you have a good evening over there in Chicagoland.
We will do that. Thanks for your time. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, sounds great. All right, Wes. We'll talk soon.
Okay.
Have a good one.
Thanks, PJ. Thank you.
Yep. All right, perfect. There we go. Everybody, very cool to have Wes on. Really appreciate him taking the time. And, of course, the LockCaddy tools, if you want to stay organized and, the go, no-go is really what caught my attention. I don't know, was it a year ago, 2 years ago, something right around there. But, all right, well, hey, let's go ahead and get the show going. And then I see there's a lot of comments for me to sift through here. I'll do my best to do so. They were all off topic, which, is always exciting. So, yeah, we'll get to those here in a moment. But first, let's go ahead and get to the post of the week, comment of the week, and then, of course, announce this week's 5 lucky Lockboss winners. All right, here we go. Now, one thing I have to say, Julio, you've been super quiet. I mean, we didn't really hear anything at all this whole first part of the show. So if you could, I don't know, put a little story time music on. Just please don't put any confession music on because I have nothing to confess this week. So. All right, let's hear. Very interesting choice. All right, very interesting. All right, here we go. Post of the week. This one comes from Stephen P. Stephen says, I just wanted to thank everyone at CLK Supplies for giving me the opportunity to win great prizes. I really enjoyed the discussion and hands-on videos to help educate me and others in the locksmith trade or the ones thinking about getting into the industry. Keep up the great work. #Lockboss. Looking forward to purchasing my key machine soon. Thanks again, Stephen P. Well, hey, Stephen, thank you for not only being here, but for commenting and for taking the time to take a picture of your winnings and send it in. And really cool. And by the way, I look forward to hearing which key machine you end up getting. It's always fun to know. So definitely when you buy one, go ahead and take a picture, send it in. I'll definitely do my best to make sure we get it posted up here for you. All right, next up is the comment of the week, season 3.8. Here we go. This one comes from Derb Med 1. Says, I just received mine from one of my recent orders. Nice to know it works before I use it. Guess I was thinking, hashtag Lockboss. Very cool. I'm guessing, one day ago, that's from the Bowman tool. So Derb MD1, thanks for the order for that. And I'll tell you what, I hope you enjoy for sure. Good stuff. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and move on into the giveaway winners here. And man, I see those comments piling up, so I'll be circling back around to those. So, and it must be giveaway winner time because it looks like Julio's on the spot today, getting that music switched around. So all you have to do is just, publicly make sure Julio's there and, things work. So, all right. So what to do if you win? Let's get on the same page before we announce this week's 5 lucky winners. So if you win, email us your shipping info to sales@CLKsupplies.com or call us at 800-848-6989 and we'll send your gifts soon. How to win? Comment on our videos with the hashtag Lockboss. Winners will be chosen from comments on the previous week's videos for our weekly giveaway. No purchase necessary. All right. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and announce this week's winners. Winner number 1 is John Castano 6920. John, congratulations. Winner number 2 is Mena. I feel like I still need to try to pronounce it, even though it's going to be difficult. But what Mena Chimiz Connect? I don't know. I apologize. I butchered that bad. Excuse me. But yeah, congratulations. Let's see here. Winner number 3 is Jeff and Things. Jeff and Things, congrats. Winner number 4 is Rick Stennerson 9585. Congrats. And last but not least, winner number 5 this week is Polar Bear 7334. Congratulations, Polar Bear. Cool to see you winning. All right, and of course, we still have our Lockboss job site jams Bluetooth speaker. I tell you what, I've seen so many of you get this. I didn't check, but I'm hoping you got it free with any order over $644.44. Just add it to cart, and it just deducts the price. Pretty cool. Good stuff there. And so that is the show for this week. And so I don't know. I'm thinking what? It's time to get into the after party here. A little bit of Lockboss after party. I still have a little topo zip fizz in here. Let's see here. Oh, I don't know why I took these off. Can't see without them. Here we go. Yeah, George Blair. So anyways, guys, hey, thank you for tuning in, hanging out. But we'll go on for a few more minutes with a little after show. I know you guys enjoy it. I know I do. So let's hang out and have a good time here. All right, George says, not even going to mention the 250 pack of Y1 is on sale for cost. No, I didn't. You know what? And let's see here. Let me try to find the good old-fashioned M1s for our stock check on these bad boys. Let's see here. Almost there. I need to do a screenshot and put it up on the screen every week, right? Y1. I know it's on page 2. All right, stock check for George Blair on Y1s that are on sale for our cost because, here it is. We have 31,423. Now, I don't know what, I can't remember what it was last week. I think it was like 32 or so thousand. So we haven't made much progress on those Y1s this week. That's funny. Oh man. Okay. Well, hopefully soon. But you know what? We started at 48 or so thousand, I believe. So hey, we're working our way down. If in fact we keep selling them through, my kids just might have a wonderful Christmas. Or I'll just put some 250 packs of Y1s under the tree. That's good. Let's see here. Yeah, Gumby says, I think it went up from less. That's kind of what I was thinking. I'm like, was it 32 or 31? I mean, we definitely didn't sell too many of those. Let's see here. Let me just double check here. Yeah. That's it, man. You know, we're going to have to be pumping those things, pumping them. Hopefully next week, a better update on those Y1s. But hey, you know what? I actually owe it to you guys because, you know, you're the ones. Hey, take it. Here we go. I'm over here trying to sell stuff, and you guys are the ones that are like, hey, PJ, you have too many Y1s that you've been talking about. Why don't you put them on sale? So if it wasn't for you all, I'd have close to 50,000 of them still. So that looks good. Let's see here. Let me go up here. Okay, let me see if I can get through some of these comments here. Jimmy J, such a gentleman, says, if you like Identikey, don't forget to hit that like button here on the stream before you leave. I like it, Jimmy. Thank you for that. And yeah, I mean, hey, I'm trying not to bring up Identikey too much this week. All right, no, it's good. It's good. Let's see here. Some more. You know what? You are right, Iceman. PJ needs to do some more email raffle giveaways. Let's do one right now. Okay, here we go. Thank you for that, Iceman. Thank you. Okay, you know what? How about this? The first, hold on though, before we get going too much on here, Julio, is if the first 3 people who email sales@CLKsupplies.com and put in the name of the product that we talked about, the 2 products we talked about today. There's 2 main ones. If you put those in the title, the first 3 people are going to get a Lockboss Bluetooth, I can't speak all of a sudden, speaker. And Kylie, I hope we have plenty of those still. But first 3 people, sales@CLKsupplies.com. In the title, the 2 products we talked about today. All right, I'm not going to actually say them. Hopefully you know. And then, of course, put your shipping address in there. First 3 people are going to get one for free. Boom. There you go, Iceman. I like it. Thank you for bringing that back up. I appreciate it. All right, here, let's see here. Lock Doc, how are you? Says, how do I get into the giveaways? Very simple. On our videos each week, comment and include the hashtag Lockboss. And, you know, join the conversation, put what you think, any tips or tricks or advice. It's good stuff. All right. Thank you for that. Let's see here. I'll keep moving up through these comments a little bit more here, and then we'll be done for the day. Let's see here. NY Locksmith says, Wes made everything have its place. Great to make sure you don't misplace tools and pieces. Very, very true. And I see, let's see here, where is it? Is that, let's see here. Iceman, yeah, go ahead and, you know, if you can send us a screen recording of that, I'll definitely send it to our developers and see what they have to say for sure. Okay, Adrian Hawley, how is it going? Very cool. All right. Let me go down here to the bottom. Let's see. All right, good stuff. All right, everybody. Well, hey, that's the show this week. I should be having the Lockfather on next week. It's the last Tuesday of the month. We'll be announcing that Lockboss season 8.3 $500 winners, which will be pretty cool. And Identikey is going good. Been adding keys like crazy, so that's been fun. And good stuff, everybody. So anyways, hey, you all have a wonderful and safe Tuesday evening. Of course, Julio, if you could put a little bit of, I don't know, end of show jams on. Julio, make it your choice. Your choice today. All right. Your choice, no judgment. Okay. I think that's the normal one, but that works. That works. All right, everybody, have a great Tuesday. We'll see you at the same place, same time next week. We got some good stuff, videos coming out for you. Oh, and a quick side note, even though the show is over, Julio, if you want to just hold the music for 1 second, I'll bring up one last thing. Something cool happened is one of the videos that we did, my dad and I did on one of the locksmithing businesses for sale. Someone actually had contacted us because they are either interested or are in the process of purchasing one of the companies that we did a video on. So pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. So if it turns out or whatever, and they want to come on, it'd be fun to have them. So we'll have to see how it plays out and if they're willing. But anyways, well, hey, Julio put the music back on, which is, I think Julio's like, hey, it's 5 o'clock in Pacific time here, PJ. I'd like to go home, and I'll allow that. I think it works. But anyways, everybody, hey, we will see you next week. Y'all take care.